This the week that President Obama announced that he and 5 other nations have reached a nuclear deal with Iran. 2 quotations, New York Times editorial board. Quote, "The final deal does what no amount of vague threats had managed to do before. It puts strong, verifiable limits on Iran's ability to develop a nuclear weapon," close quote. The Wall Street Journal editorial board, quote, "The agreement all but guarantees that Tehran will eventually become a nuclear power while limiting the ability of a future president to prevent it," close quote. Good deal or bad deal, Charlie?
The first thing, since you're running for president, is to know that the international system is coming apart. It's a global matter. We can get into that later,
yes,
as you may wish. This agreement fits into that. It is really perhaps...
Fits into an overall disintegration.
Overall disintegration. It is perhaps the most astonishing shift in international politics and security in modern diplomatic history. It is strategically dangerous. Iran has been an enemy of this international system since it became the Islamic Republic of Iran in 1979. It has been a relentless, deceptive, deceitful, anti-world order regime. Its record is consistent. It's never wavered from it. Its enemy is America, death to America. And what has just happened is that the United States has just handed over its leading role in the Middle East to Iran and provided a kind of dowry to go along with it, as the U.S. seems to be leaving this region in the way it has been in a leading role before.
By a dowry, you mean we lift the sanctions and they start making money, cash right away.
It comes with a big package that will ensure that Iran will become almost certainly the leading power in the region for the foreseeable future, or the near future anyway. Others will challenge it. It is going to make Iran a major power internationally if it goes on the way it appears to go now.
Jim, you warned me that you didn't want to talk about the deal until you'd had a chance to read all 159 pages, all 5 appendices, and look at what various people were saying. Fine, fair enough. You have standards. I understand. Let me give you a quotation, though, on which I would like you to comment. Frederick Kagan in the Wall Street Journal, quote, "The deal commits the West to removing almost all sanctions on Iran, including most of those imposed to reduce terrorism or to prevent weapons proliferation." That is, it's not just a nuclear deal. We don't just lift those sanctions. We lift almost all sanctions on Iran. Thus, the agreement ensures that Iran will be able to expand its conventional military capabilities as much as the regime pleases, close quote. You know something about their conventional military capabilities and how they've used it. What do you think about that? How have they? Charlie just said their record is consistent. How have you experienced it?
The Iranians, as Henry Kissinger has said very clearly, are not conducting themselves as a nation state. They're conducting themselves as a revolutionary cause. So as we look at them in their nation state role, we have to consider their capabilities. In this case, in this negotiation, we are aware that there are numerous threats that emanate from Iran, but we voluntarily limited the negotiation to one alone, the latent nuclear weapons program.
Right.
There's also a counter-maritime threat, there's a cyber threat, there's a ballistic missile threat, then there's one you could call Quds Force, MOIS, surrogates, proxies like Lebanese Hezbollah, terrorism. And we intentionally, to address what the Americans believed was the most significant threat, limited the discussion, the negotiation to one, but you cannot limit the implications to one alone. So we removed all of the sanctions, and now those other regionally destabilizing threats are certainly subject to being reinforced with some of the benefits of this negotiation. Whether it's a good framework for the future or not will come out in the execution of it. However, there's certainly a lot of aspects of it that put us in a less favorable position.